The giraffe who shared the sky. In the golden grasslands where acacia umbrellas dotted the earth, lived a gentle giraffe named Liana. Her neck stretched so high that her ears often tickled passing clouds, and yet her voice was soft as a lullaby. Everyone knew Liana for one thing, more than her height or kindness. One dry season, the river shrank into silver threads, and the bushes turned brittle. Fruit dangled high where only a giraffe could reach. The monkeys grumbled, the warthogs worried, and even the peacocks, usually busy admiring their feathers, paced with fretful eyes. "Food is there," sighed Miko the meerkat, staring up at the shimmering pods. "But not for us." Liana tilted her head. "Then let's make it for us." She bent her long legs, stretched her neck, and gently hooked a branch with her tongue. With a careful tug, she lowered the acacia until the lowest pods brushed the earth. The monkeys cheered, the warthogs snorted happily, and even the peacocks forgot to be proud for a moment as everyone shared the meal. "Thank you, Liana," said a tortoise named Kavi, his shell scuffed from years of journeys. "You use your height to help, not to boast." Liana smiled. "What good is a gift if it only makes you taller? Gifts should make the world kinder." Word spread across the grasslands. When Liana grazed, everyone ate. Soon, small trails formed behind her, meerkats trotting, porcupines pattering, and a chorus of little voices calling, "Wait for us." Liana never hurried. She listened to whispered worries and answered every please with a gentle nod. Not everyone approved. Panja the peacock strutted to the water's edge, irritated that the crowd no longer admired his fan tail. "Gifts are for shining," he declared to anyone who would listen. "If I had Liana's height, I would be famous across the savannah. Why waste such a gift on sharing?" Liana heard but did not argue. Instead, she collected fallen twigs and taught the little ones how to weave shady triangles, lean to shelters to rest beneath during the hottest hours. She showed the monkeys how to wedge smooth stones under a log to make a seesaw, so even the smallest could press a branch low enough to snack. She asked Kavi the tortoise to show the porcupines how to push sand to build tiny dams where morning dew could gather. Their small inventions multiplied like stars at dusk. One afternoon, the sky darkened in a strange way. A storm had tangled itself in the mountains and arrived with a roaring wind. Lightning sliced the sky, and a sheet of rain rushed down so fiercely that the little ones could not see their own paws. Panja squawked in alarm, his feathers weighted with water, his proud tail dragging like a soggy broom. The river swelled, then leapt its banks, splitting the meadow into two trembling islands. On the far side, a nest of weaver birds clung to a reed, listing dangerously. Inside, 3 chicks peeped in panic. The animals on both banks cried out, but the river hissed and shoved them back. Liana stepped forward until the foam licked her knees. "We'll cross together," she said. "But first, we'll build a bridge the river can't swallow." "How?" shouted the monkeys over the wind. "By using what each of us has." The monkeys scrambled up the acacias, tying long vines into ropes with their quick fingers. The warthogs pushed a fallen trunk to the bank. The porcupines braced the trunk with stones Kavi chose for weight. The birds knotted reeds. Liana anchored the ropes high, where the river's fists could not reach, looping them over her horns and the tallest branches. Little by little, a wobbly bridge became a sturdy braid. "Go," urged Liana, planting her hooves like pillars. One by one, the small ones crossed, meerkats clutching each other's paws, porcupines prickling with fear but pressing on. Then a new cry. Panja, swept off his feet, was spinning toward the rapids, his soaked tail a dragging net. Without thinking, Liana waded deeper, her long neck arching like a crane's. "Grab my scarf," she called, biting a vine and lowering it to him. Panja clutched the vine with shaking wings, and Liana pulled him to the shallows where Kavi and the monkeys hauled him ashore. On the far bank, Liana leaned across the braided bridge, reaching the weaver bird's nest. Her velvet muzzle nudged it free. "Easy now," she whispered, lowering the nest onto Miko's wading paws. When the storm moved on and the flood began to sigh instead of roar, the animals gathered under the cleaned, rain-bright sky. Panja stood with his tail dripping in a humble circle. "I thought gifts were for shining," he murmured, eyes lowered. "But today, your gift became everyone's shelter. I am sorry." Liana shook her wet ears, sending a gentle spray that made the little ones giggle. "Your feathers can shine," she said kindly, "but let them shine on the path so others can see. Shine to guide, not to blind." From that day, Panja became the keeper of colors. At dawn, he fanned his tail at the edge of the shelters so travelers could find their way. He taught the children to braid ribbons of grass and weave patterns that marked safe trails. He still strutted, only now he strutted in service. The dry season passed, and the river returned to its silver ribbon. The grasslands were never quite the same. There were tiny bridges over trickles, shade shelters at every bend, and fruit trees with low-hung ropes so any hungry paws could tug a branch down. When newcomers asked who had built these wonders, the little ones pointed up at Liana nibbling leaves. "She did," they said. "And we did together." Liana simply smiled and kept chewing. After all, the sky is big enough for everyone. Sometimes it just needs a gentle lowering. Moral: use your unique abilities to lift others. Cooperation, sharing, and kindness are worth more than pride or differences.